Right now, Fox 5's Crime in the City. Here are the crimes across the 5 boroughs. We begin in Washington Heights, where a man was shot to death inside a bodega right in front of his 10-year-old daughter.
Cops say the victim, that father, had just picked up the girl from school and took her to the deli on Nagel Avenue to buy her a snack. But an argument broke out between the victim and another man inside. Police say the other man pulled out a gun and shot Tykeem Berry once in the chest. He was pronounced dead at Harlem Hospital. Police believe the two men did know each other. They're still looking for the gunman.
We now go to Clinton Hill in Brooklyn, where an NYPD officer was shot in the foot while responding to a domestic violence call.
This is still an active scene hours after the shooting. You can see police have been here all day. This all unfolded about 8:30 this morning, where cops were called to that building behind me. A woman that is, calling for help after she said she was having a dispute with a friend. Now, when police arrived, things escalated. A man shot an officer. That officer thankfully home with his family tonight, recovering. As for the suspect, well, police are telling us he is a career criminal. Gates Avenue in the Clinton Hill section of Brooklyn turned into a crime scene Wednesday morning.
I'm just in shock. This is a nice, quiet, residential, pretty much everyone knows everyone.
It was just after 8:30 when police received a call from a woman claiming her male friend was destroying her apartment.
The 911 call states that he was breaking her walls.
Within minutes, officers from the 79th Police Precinct arrived at this building. The woman and the suspect were outside. Officers went up to the apartment to see the damage. When they came down, police were about to arrest 41-year-old Raheem Joy of Brooklyn for criminal mischief when a struggle ensued.
As the officers attempted to place the male in custody, a struggle ensued. A shot was fired, striking our officer in the right foot.
The NYPD says Joy then fled a few blocks to Monroe Street with this 9mm gun in hand. It was there where he was confronted by other officers. According to police, Joy fired 2 shots at the cops, who fired back, striking him twice in the thigh.
Because of Officer O'Donnell and his partners' actions, we have a dangerous person off our street. We have an illegal gun off our street.
The officer was transported to Kings County Hospital, where he was treated and later released. He is a 7-year veteran of the force, a father and a husband.
This is the 10th officer shot this year in 9 separate incidents. The shootings of your NYPD officers go back to New Year's Day this year.
Meanwhile, the suspect has a lengthy criminal history, including an outstanding warrant for weapons possession.
He has 17 prior arrests in Georgia, the state of Georgia, dating between 1998 and 2014.
Now, the suspect was taken to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. As for charges, well, we're told they're pending tonight.
Over on the Upper East Side, authorities say a woman broke into a townhome that Robert De Niro is renting and was reportedly bagging up presents from under the Christmas tree when police arrested her.
Well, first of all, this woman is known to police because she has a very lengthy rap sheet. And police officers with the 19th Precinct, which is nearby here, they noticed the woman in the middle of the night trying to open doors to a variety of businesses in the area. Then they tracked her here to this townhouse, which is Robert De Niro's. Actor Robert De Niro leaving the townhouse he is renting on the Upper East Side after police say a woman was caught underneath his Christmas tree trying to steal presents. That woman, 30-year-old Shanice Aviles, smiling after being arrested and basically saying, "What's the big deal?"
I didn't murder anybody.
Please, anything you want to say?
I didn't murder anybody.
Police say the woman broke into the townhouse about 2:30 in the morning. She is known to police as a serial burglar because she has been arrested so many times. Officers say they spotted her trying to get into some businesses in the neighborhood and then tracked her to De Niro's townhouse, where they say she had broken in through a basement door. The actor and his daughter were upstairs at home at the time, but had no idea what was going on. De Niro came down to the living room to see police arresting the woman.
I didn't go to Robert De Niro's house.
According to police, Shanice Aviles has been very busy. She has at least 26 prior arrests, mostly for burglaries. This year, she has been arrested 16 times for burglary and petty larceny. 7 of those burglaries last month and this month on the Upper East Side. Mike Alcazar is a retired detective and currently an adjunct professor at John Jay College of Criminal Justice.
What's that telling the bad guys? That, yeah, they're just releasing us. So do your thing. They're going to arrest you. They're going to release you again that day. So, no, there's nothing to lose.
The NYPD says so far this year, burglaries are up by nearly 24% over the same time period last year. And petty larceny is up nearly 34%.
Revolving door criminal justice system. It's like fishing, catch and release, catch and release.
And at this point, it is still unclear if the woman, the suspect, even knew that the townhouse was Robert De Niro's when police say she broke into it.
We return to Brooklyn, where a subway passenger was shot and critically injured following a late-night dispute with 2 transit workers in Park Slope.
I just got off the phone with police. They tell me that passenger is still in critical condition. Investigators say that same passenger continued to follow and harass the 2 MTA employees. Investigators also spent early this morning looking through surveillance footage to get a better look at what exactly unfolded. Police swarmed the Union Street subway station in Park Slope Tuesday night after investigators say an MTA worker shot a passenger following an argument. Detectives say 2 uniformed MTA employees were waiting for a train. One of the MTA employees maintains the Metro card machines. The other collects money from the machines, acts as security, and is an armed MTA employee. Police say that's when a 39-year-old passenger came up to them.
While they were waiting for the train, a male approached them, engaged them in a verbal dispute. The male became irate and began to threaten to beat them up.
The NYPD says the MTA workers got on an R train and hopped off at the Union Street subway station. The passenger continued to follow them.
As they reached the mezzanine area of the station, the male began to advance towards the 2 MTA employees. The armed MTA worker pulled out his firearm while repeatedly giving verbal commands for the male to back up. The male failed to comply and threatened to forcibly remove the firearm from the MTA employee. During the course of this interaction, the MTA employee fired 1 round, which struck the male in the chest.
The passenger was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Investigators say the man is known to police. The MTA did not release the identity of the employee who opened fire, but say he is a 21-year veteran of the agency.
Obviously, this is a tragic event. We have 2 employees who were going about their business.
Police say they are still investigating the circumstances surrounding the incident. They say no weapon was found on the passenger.
Preliminarily, it looks like it's verbal. There was no weapon recovered from his body, but I will say this. We still need to investigate, speak to and interview the MTA employees.
And the MTA says that more than 200 of their employees are armed. As far as those 2 MTA employees involved in this incident, now none of them were injured.
Down in the West Village, a worker was hospitalized after he was attacked with a hammer in a subway station.
A 51-year-old MTA worker attacked while on the job inside the dispatch area here at the 8th Avenue, 14th Street subway station. Let's take a look at some video into the newsroom. And this is what police are saying, that it happened at 1:45 this morning. The suspect, a 29-year-old man, entering the MTA dispatch office. That's when the MTA worker confronted him. Words were exchanged. The suspect then grabbed a hammer and struck the 51-year-old in the head and took off, hiding underneath a train inside the subway station that was stopped. Police were able to locate the guy, pull him out and arrest him. Now the suspect now at Bellevue undergoing evaluation. As for the 51-year-old MTA worker who was attacked with a hammer, he is in the hospital in stable condition. And this is also to be noted, according to the New York Post, this is the 4th time an MTA worker was attacked while on the job within the past week. Last Friday, a subway worker was attacked at the Coney Island subway station by an alleged drunken banker. And then again, this past Sunday, a very, very crowded area at Times Square. Well, the subway station there, 2 MTA workers were attacked, one punched in the face, the other one kicked in the leg while he was taking down the assailant.
And finally, we end in the concourse section of the Bronx, where a bodega is struggling to stay open due to rampant thefts.
Running a bodega in the Bronx isn't what it used to be. Store owners and shopkeepers say they witness shoplifting in their business every day. Desiree Soto tells me she's scared. Theft is costing the bodega so much money, she's worried the owner will have to lay her off or the store will have to shut down. Rising retail theft was the topic of a citywide summit, bringing together stakeholders to craft a plan to combat the crime that's undermining the city's post-pandemic economic recovery.
Merchants are leaving the city. Honestly.
Zaid Naji said theft is changing the way owners do business. Now, store owners opt to stop selling products that attract theft, like baby formula. They raise prices and shut down early.
You see corridor after corridor, street after street, block after block, where stores have now closed because they cannot withstand the amount of theft that's happening.
This year alone, there was close to 61,000 retail theft calls to police, nearly triple what it was 3 years ago. The spike attributed to the lack of legal consequences.
You had a young man, 17 years old, who was going into the stores, the same stores, almost on a daily basis and taking. And his answer to some of these store owners who got used to seeing him was, there's really nothing you can do about it, right? Is he wrong? Probably not. He's young. Is he stealing large amounts? No, but any amount impacts the bottom line for these small businesses.
There are around 27,000 businesses in the Bronx, 80% of which are micro businesses, and they just don't have the money for high-tech theft prevention like security systems, gates, and plexiglass, which is why the business community is asking the city to help out. Whether it's grant funding, a larger police presence, or sharper repercussions for repeat offenders, Mayor Adams says he will release a summary of theft prevention strategies in 30 days.
It was good to have everybody in the room to hear the pain that is happening, but also hope for the progress that can happen with this.
That's this week's Crime in the City.